Hey everybody, so this is what happens when you come back from Gen Con. You've got all these different cool badges and passes and just some really fun stuff. So that's what I'm here to tell you about. This is my recap, my hits and misses, and all the cool events that I went to at Gen Con 2022. Hey everybody, thanks for joining me for my recap of Gen Con 2022. I did a lot of stuff, I brought a lot of things home, and I'm going to start off right away with the cool events that I participated in or attended. So the very first thing was this awesome 16-bit bar in downtown Indianapolis I went to on Wednesday night because I got there early. Gen Con starts on Thursday morning, but I was there and I got to go by and meet Alex from Two Tomatoes, and I ran into Ruel Gaviola, one of my colleagues from Rahdo Runs Through It, which is a fantastic run-through channel. I've been doing some run-through videos for them for about a half a year now. And Ruel gave me some cool swag. I got some stickers and some buttons for Tabletop tonight. He's a wonderful, phenomenal live streamer, and it was even better because it was wholly accidental that we ran into each other there. So we got to play a couple games together, and the next morning on Thursday, we did our 1-hour preview of Gen Con on the Gen Con channel. And so that was awesome to live stream with him in the Gen Con studio and just talk about all the things that we were excited about. One of the things that happened was we talked about chai tea for two, and he showed me these awesome trays, which I backed chai tea for two, and I did not back these awesome trays. They are so easy. They snap together and they lay flat, so they were perfect for traveling with, but they're so easy to put together and they are gorgeous. I mean, these are stunning. The colors are beautiful. I think the game is really lovely, and I'm always looking for fantastic two-player games to play with Lewis. So, I mean, to walk away with a couple of these guys, I mean, again, so easy to work. We also talked about some of the things that we were excited about, and one of them is Twilight Inscription. I did not get a chance to demo or learn Twilight Inscription. Lewis did. My husband did. He snuck away. I guess I snuck away. I had a meeting and then he went into the demo hall and got in as a single player, which is so much easier to do than when you're with 2 or 3 people. And so he learned it. You can see here that I don't have it though, and I know you've been looking at this stack of really cool things that I brought back. Twilight Inscription is not here, mostly because it is super pricey. It is very expensive. Now, I want to play it, but I think I can wait. I think I have plenty of games that I can play. And one of them, I'm so excited. These are new maps for Ark Nova. I have got to play Ark Nova again. I have a great video, a run through of just like what it is to play the game, my favorite mechanics. So if you haven't seen that, go and check it out. But this was really cool to get these maps to add to Ark Nova. So I'm just going to play more Ark Nova. That's just all I'm going to do. I mean, yeah, I didn't get to have one thing, but now I get this thing, which is awesome. So that was my Thursday, was doing the preview with Ruel, and just, he's just a lovely person. I mean, when you meet someone who just, I don't know, feels like a kindred spirit. I mean, you feel like you just, I don't know, they're awesome, they're authentic, they're just genuine and kind. I will shout out that we are probably around the same age, because when we were at the bar the night before playing games together, we were singing Backstreet's Back All Right together. Like at the same time, the music came on and we both sang, and nobody else at the table was singing, just the two of us. So that was lovely. He did teach me how to play Village Green, which is a fascinating game of making a grid in your area of all these beautiful, beautiful cards. And it's about flowers and colors and, you know, all the different little doodads. And you have these scoring mechanics on the side. And so it was fun to play a card game with him and to play an upcoming game. It's a 3D puzzle game called Coral. Now on Friday, I got to do my very first speed painting challenge. I can't even begin to tell you how bad I am. I'm trying. I'm still trying. But they give you 45 minutes to paint a miniature. Now, you are not getting close-ups. of these. So I knew going into it what I should do, and then boy, it's hard to get that done. So I didn't do well. And that was at 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. And they do the judging in the 15 minutes. So again, 45 minutes to paint. They give you the mini, they give you the paints and the paintbrushes. Then the next round, I did this guy, and he was so much better. I improved just in doing the second one right afterwards, I think. I blended my colors better. I worked a little bit more on some highlights, and I just did better. I feel like he worked really well. And then, because my friend is so much better, he's the one that actually does the speed painting, he won this round. And you have a whole line of like 12 people doing paints. And this one we did for, it was Reaper Miniatures was the one that we painted for. So they give us the miniature. And then we did the second round, and he won that round too. And you can only win one entry into the finals to compete for the championship of the speed painting miniatures. So he won that one too. He's so good. And then the last time we went to the finals, and there were 3 people who didn't show up. And so he told me, my friend, maybe I can ask the woman who runs it if I can just like sit down and have someone spot, because clearly I'm not going to win. I mean, I'm not even placing, not even in the top 3. So I got to do that, and I got this guy, and I painted him, and he's okay. He's okay, but the cool thing is that he comes with this little pig, a little boar. He has a little companion because he's like this guy mixing beer, and he's got little scissors in his pockets, and he's got a little cool tri-corner hat. So I got all these miniatures, and I'm going to keep them and write on them Speed Painting 2022 GenCon so that I can maybe see my progress in how I'm developing as a painter over the years. So that was my event that I did on Friday, and I just loved it. It was so fun. It's just great. I love it. Now on Saturday, I cosplayed all day. I was, if anyone saw my poll for on the YouTube channel, I asked everyone, I'm going to dress up this year for Gen Con. What do you think I'm going to be? If you said Kamina Drummer from The Expanse, you were correct. I am a huge fan of The Expanse, and if you've been watching my Rado videos, you've noticed that I have a lot of Expanse t-shirts. It's because I really like it. I have a Kamina Drummer shirt. I made my own outfit with my patches and my Tycho Station stuff, and I made a tattoo for my neck. I had so much fun, and honestly, the coolest thing was having just those few people here and there who would see me and recognize me and like say, oh my gosh, you look great. You're like, yeah, I can totally tell who you are. And just having that connection of pop culture just with strangers was so, so fun. So those were my events. That's what I did. I did like a major thing every day, and it was loads of fun. So let me actually get to some of these games because I want to tell you what I brought back and why I brought these things back and not other things. So the first one is I play tested the new Love Letter, which it's not even named Love Letter. It's called Jabba's Palace. This is a 2 to 6 player game that is Love Letter, but it got Jabba the Hutt stuff and like Star Wars. And if you know me, I don't know the names and I don't know the things, but I do my best. So this is good. I played it with 6 players and I had a good time, and none of the other Love Letters that I'm aware of. I think the one with the Infinity Stones goes to 5, I think, but none of them go to 6, or not many of them. And I love Love Letter Batman, but this is a really good Love Letter. I liked it. I had a really good time, and then I played 3-player for like an hour, the Sunday night of the con when everything's done and we're just sitting around in a hotel lobby, and we just played this game. So I'm glad we got it, and I think it's really good. So I'm just going to start putting stuff in a little pile. I got some really great stuff from AG. Now, I didn't get a chance to demo Wormholes. I really wanted to. This was on my list in my top 10. And so I was able to get a copy of it though, and that's why I didn't spend time demoing it at the hall while I was at Gen Con. So this is getting played ASAP, and I'm really, really excited about Wormholes. Okay, that old wallpaper. I have this, and I'm thinking, because I've played this, I played it at the BGG room, I'm thinking that this might be perhaps a giveaway in the future. I'm really excited to share this with you. Really interesting blind betting game, and then a card arrangement in your own player tableau. You get to essentially score what you score. Really interesting. I liked it. And it's got some really beautiful gold leaf, like gold cards in here that are just really pretty. So yes, 4-set collection and essentially multipliers with colors and types. Okay, I didn't mention that there were some games that I that I've already played, but that have expansions or like new versions coming out of, and this is one of them. So I'm going to pull my list up because I want to tell you there were. So the Red Cathedral, this is one of them. Contractors. Parks has Wildlife. Meadow has Downstream. Clank Catacombs, yes. Sagrada, The Great Facade's Glory. Undaunted Stalingrad wasn't available, but I want to get that because I have the other two Undaunteds. And then The Great Western Trail, Argentina. And then Creature Comforts, Maple Valley. So there were a handful of these expansions or standalones that I was really excited to play. And while I didn't get to actually play any of those, I bought this because I heard from someone that I trust that said, if you play Red Cathedral and like it, and you add Contractors, you will not want to play without Contractors after that. You're just going to love it so much. And I went, okay, sold. I'm sold. I want it. So that's why I bought this, and I'm really excited to add it to my base game. So yeah, that's why I got this. Again, super, super thrilled. Lewis was really excited to try Get On Board. This is New York and London by Yellow. And I sat down and played with him a full demo of it, and we just loved it. We absolutely fell in love with it. This is one of the games of the con that is probably the best. This was one of our super duper favorites. And so it is a flip and write game with a lot of choice and interesting congestion with players in this central map. I liked it. I liked it a lot. It is a puzzly, super fun, simultaneous play, essentially. I mean, you kind of plan your turn out and you know what you're going to do, but you also wait for players to go in turn order because you might actually have to pay to go down the same route that someone is already on. And so someone might get to the route before you, which means you're going to have to pay for that congestion. Really cool game. I want to play it again. We will play it again. It's 30 minutes long. A fantastic 2 to 5 player game. So I didn't know that this game existed, and after I played it, I was really glad that I did. Another game that I didn't know existed is Critical Foundation Season 1. Okay, so this game is by Gigamic. We got it in the Hachette area. And we also had one of the people who was, instrumental in designing and tweaking and kind of working on this game itself, which was super cool because he was into the story. This is a role-playing adventure that I think has a whole lot of potential. We played through the scenario 0, and there are 9 different scenarios in here, and you play 2 to 5. One person is going to be the GM who has a little booklet, and you're playing a role-playing adventure or a scenario in 30 to 40 minutes. That's the pitch. And we really did. There is a die to resolve successes and misses, but players get choice. Players get a character that they get to develop and they get to kind of work on. They have special skills and abilities that allow them to do really cool things. We are planning on playing this with our friends. So we have a 4-player game, which means that one of us is GM. I'm going to put my name in the hat for that. And then we'll have 3 actual players that are going to be the characters in this game. So I'm so excited. This was something that I, again, didn't know existed. And now that I do, I'm so excited about it. I had a great time. So, Critical Foundation Season 1. Ha 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 ha. This was on my list, and now I have it, and I got to play it. And not only that, the designer taught it to me, which was fantastic. So John D. Clare is the designer here, and it's just fun. I like it. I have a great time with betting games and like horse racing games just already, but it's also just fun to learn a game from the designer and from someone that you kind of get. Like I'm all on board with his games. I don't know, there's just something that just works. You know, Cubitos and Space Base, and now Ready Set Bet. I have Dead Reckoning sitting right over there, and I can't believe I still haven't gotten to it, but it's ready for me to play. Jump into a pirate, you know, adventure, high seas adventure. Yes. So in this game, one player is acting as the horse race, the horses and rolling dice furiously, going 1, 2, you know, 7 moves, 11 moves, you know, boxcars, snake eyes. And everyone else is betting with their player chips on this kind of roulette style board that has payouts and penalties. It's a real-time game and it's fun. And you play 4 rounds of it and then you find out who has the most money, they win. So I have it. I'm so excited again. This was one that I was really looking forward to, and so I was glad to take this with me. And lastly, of the big things that are out here, I know my stack has dwindled, you know, so fast. But this is from Thunderworks Games, and it's Tenpenny Park. Now, I got the kind of full rundown of the game without playing through it, but I'm really excited to get into this. And I know that it seems like maybe circus themes or park themes are really popular right now, but I think the mechanics here are really standing out to me as interesting and dynamic. So I'm super excited to get this played and later a review on the channel. So keep your eyes peeled for Tenpenny Parks. Everything is gone. Those were all the things that I purchased. I did leave with some really cool swag, and I want to mention a couple other games before I go. So here I go. One of them, I adore Fit to Print. I adore this game. I can't wait to play it. So it's coming to Kickstarter. Flat Out Games does it. I only have this cute little card because I couldn't take the game with me. They didn't have the game. But oh my gosh, this game is amazing. It's so fun. It is a real-time grabbing polyominoes that are face down in the center of the table, much like you do in Galaxy Trucker, finding the ones you want and putting them onto your newspaper table. Once you find that you have enough pieces out here, a variety of articles, positive and negative, and ads, and things like that, you are going to essentially say stop, and you're going to take those and start fitting them into your Tetris-style little grid, which is the front page of your newspaper. And so once you've done that, you can't grab more tiles. You can't put your tiles back, and you will earn points based on what you fit in there, and it has so much potential to grow. I was intrigued. We only got to play 1 round of it, and we all wanted to play another round immediately. It was so catchy. It was so fun and light, but also just puzzly. So for me, I think Fit to Print really took my attention, really took my heart. I feel like that's the game that kind of won Gen Con for me. You know, pop the party cannons. Did I just sneak in my number 1 favorite right now? I think Fit to Print is fantastic. So that was my real hit, and honestly, that was on my list of top 10s. I'm going to go back and look at my top 10 and tell you which of the games I was able to play out of all of them. So my top 10 was Catherine. Catherine was nowhere to be found. CGE, what happened? You had all these games like Starship Captains, which I got the 10-minute rundown pitch for. Starship Captains looks fantastic, but I didn't get to play it. So I want to know from CGE, where's Catherine, the Cities of the Tsarina? I wanted to play it, and they didn't even have any pictures of it anywhere. So I don't know what happened. I also was unable to play Gartenbau. And let's see here. I did get to play Blaze On though. And so 25th Century Games, thank you so much. Green team wins. I got some cool swag from 25th Century Games. And I think they've got some really, really cool stuff happening. I just wanted to try Gartenbau, and it was always packed and it was always taken in the Board Game Geek room, which I go to from 6 to midnight every night of the con. So I didn't get a chance to play that. Sky Mines and Nightfall were just too big of games, and I've also played Mombasa, and Nightfall is a kind of a story campaign from Red Raven Games, and I didn't get a chance to do that. I think we'll probably just invest in it and just play it ourselves. Ready, Set, Bet was on my top 10, and the last game was Turing Machine, and I did get to play Turing Machine. I didn't bring it home with me. I feel like perhaps it was just a little bit too abstract or deduction. There was like all cooperative, not cooperative, simultaneous play, which was fascinating, and the whole thing's been figured out, so no player error other than your own player error, which is my kind of deduction game. But I think we played on easy, and maybe I just didn't see like the real chances for complex, puzzling together and deducing. We all figured out the answer on the same round, and I think that played into my feeling of like, we all did it at the same time. So slightly underwhelmed by Turing Machine. On my runners up, which is still my top 20, 10 Penny Parks, which I brought home. I played Scout, which was a Game of the Year nominee, and I was underwhelmed by it. I'm not sure that it has long-term potential for a whole lot of gameplay. The game I would love to actually shout out and tell you that you absolutely need to play came from my gameplay on Saturday. I got to play at the Spiel des Jahres booth, which was a 10 by 10 with two lovely people, Christoph and Stefan. I got to play Living Forest, and that was kind of my highlight experience of the con. They were lovely. They were sharing treats and chocolates and being just the sweetest Germans you've ever met in your life. And it was the only place in the entire GenCon where there was a copy of Living Forest, and I got to sit down and play that game, and it was awesome. I think it's great, and I am so excited I got my hands on it because I told you before I wanted to see the game that beat out what I thought was a fantastic game, which is Dune Imperium for Kennerspiel. So Living Forest has a wonderful Mystic Vale vibe while still having this fascinating way of winning. You have different ways to win, and you have to keep your eye on your opponents, and you have to know what they're doing because you can, in some ways, prevent them from locking in a win while you're still trying to get to your win. Very cool game. I loved it. I think that was another. So fit to print, Living Forest just blew me away. Get on board, blew me away. What else? Let's see here. A game I'm very interested in playing that has bag drawing from it is called For Humors, a game of wits and guts. I got these cool cards that are fantastic for when I actually get the game. But these were promo cards. I picked out Wheelbarrow of the Dead because it reminds me of Monty Python. And Lewis got the Royal Latrine. I'm not sure why, but I think we both have some dark sense of humor. But I got these because I loved the run-through at their booth, and I thought For Humors looked really good, and I didn't get a chance to play it. So that's pretty much it. I brought home a whole bunch of fun swags and stuff like that. I've got my Heidelbar hat and my super awesome fan that they gave me. Let me pull that off here. So I've been doing some videos for them using my characters, my cool characters like Barb. So if you've been watching that, oh, maybe I should pull it down the other way. I will have some videos coming out. They have a game called Animal Poker. They have another game called Blaze, and then this fan is from Spicy. So they have these really, really cool, clever card games that I think you might actually find really challenging and interesting and wholly replayable. Okay, so as I wrap up this video, I wanted to just run through a couple more games that I got to play in the BGG room that were hits and misses for me. So I would say that a hit for me is called First Rat, which I found to be really interesting. You want to be the first rat to essentially like a first rastronaut, and has a very fascinating way of moving your rats and really building up your resource management and buying certain bonuses. I thought that the strategy to the end between me and the player who won, which I came in a really close second in my first time playing it, we took totally different routes, and I thought that was fantastic, right? To play a game and to see all the different strategies, really, really cool. I also think something that has potential is Shake That City. It's coming up in the fall for AEG, and I think it's a really nice simplified player board, 5x5 grid, fitting in all the different tiles of a city. So you've got your parks, your industrial, your commercial, and your residential. And the way that those cubies come out in this little device, you go and you punch it and you pull it away, and it's in a 3x3 grid. I think the player selection in turn order is fascinating as well. So I think that has a whole lot of potential. Some other games that I thought were good. Fife. I thought Fife was really interesting. It has this player grid that you're building in front of you with these discs that you're pulling from a bag. I really like bag drawing, and so for me, pulling that disc that has the right number, color, or symbol is just thrilling. And finding a way to score what you want to score and where you want to score it is part of the strategy. So I thought that was really, really cool. I liked a game called Explorers. This was a flip and write on these dry erase boards comprised of 4 different squares that you place into each player's frame. And you're placing down X's in terrain, much like you do in Kingdom Builder or games like that. So you've got these, I'm placing here, or like, welcome to, you've got this here, here, and here, and it has to be adjacent to what you're actually doing. Going back to some of my misses. I think Kapow missed for me. I played that game. It's a 2-player punch 'em game, which is a knockout until you beat someone. I'm not a fan of that kind of gameplay. I think the 2 people that, my 2 friends that came in after me played and had a lot more fun than I did. So for me, Kapow, didn't really do it for me. I think Framework, as I played that all the way through, Uwe Rosenberg's Framework, is an easier, simplified or streamlined version of Nova Luna. And while I think that it is exactly that, I don't know if I'm going to pull it out anytime soon. I don't know if I'm going to need to invest in it. The others, Ven was As a party game, you got to have something to it that makes it not breakable. And I think there were about 10 ways that we kind of broke the game. So not my favorite game. It used the same kind of system as picking a card that has a lot of different weird stuff on it to represent a word that you're trying to get other players to guess. Now, another game that I played that was just maybe a little bit too simple for me, it was just too short of a card game, is called Ion. And Ion is from Genius Games, which I love because I've got subatomic, cytosis, periodic, and cellulose. The game I wanted to play that I didn't get a chance to get into because it was packed every time I went is Genotype. And that's the one I was more interested in than Ion, but I played Ion because the table was open, and I was a little underwhelmed with that game. Longboard didn't do it for me. It didn't make my list. I read up about it before the con, and I only played it because it was available in the BGG room, and for me, it just felt a little too mean. It felt like Lost Cities, but mean, and we didn't enjoy our gameplay of Longboard. One game that didn't really shine necessarily or really impress us, or me in particular, was Old London Bridge by Queen Games. I really wanted it to be something special with the tiles that you line up and you get to activate based on the particular type of shield that you're getting. And it went very fast. It was a fast game. Like, that's the thing it's got going for it. But overall, it didn't feel like a juicy or a dynamic game in any stretch. The quality of the game was great. It did take up a ton of space with a lot of things, but it didn't necessarily need to. I didn't necessarily find too much to enjoy with Old London Bridge. All right, and with that said, I had some hits, I had some misses, I had some surprises, and I did bring back a really lovely haul of board games and cool swag. So thank you so much for staying tuned to my recap, hits and misses of GenCon 2022. I had a great time, I stayed safe, I stayed healthy, and I'm really happy to be home, but I have about a week before my academic school year starts, so I'm scrambling to get in mode for teaching. I hope you are enjoying your August, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.